Vane, and this is episode 62 of my author's diary. I am an author of crime thrillers for women, and every week I take you on the ups and downs that I go through as I try to write and publish new books. So don't forget to subscribe or follow me so you won't miss when I'm doing a video. So this week, I am giving you guys a recap of how the review of the audiobook for The Accidental Hero went. So just to take you back, last week I got an email from Findaway Voices saying, "Congratulations! Your audio files are ready for your final review and approval." And I was like, I don't have time for this right now. I got too many deadlines, and now I have another deadline, and so I was really about to freak out, right? And so, I let myself freak out for like all of maybe 5 minutes, and then I said, okay, Angel, you gotta get a handle on these things. Let's get organized. So here are the things that I did as I was preparing to review the audio files for my book, The Accidental Hero. So the first thing I did was I got organized with my bullet journal, my Bujo. So you guys know that I started doing bullet journaling back in January, on January 1st actually of this year, and it has been a game changer for me. And so what I had to do was go through my Bujo, take a page, and write down what are all the things that I have to do and what are their specific deadlines this week. And once I had that full list, whether it was related to my day job or my author life, whatever it related to, I wrote down everything, got that organized, had the deadlines, and then that allowed me to prioritize what do I need to work on first, second, third, fourth, what do I need to work on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, so that I could get everything done. Then the next thing that I did, because I love trackers, like trackers are the things that really help me to follow along to see how much progress that I'm making, and also I get that little extra boost as I'm ticking stuff off of my tracker. So for the Accidental Hero audio file review, basically every file was its own box, and here's what it looks like. And then I shaded them in a color scheme as I listened to them and knocked them off the to-do list. And I found that to be extremely motivating for me because I could see the progress visually with colors as I was going through the audio files. And it just kind of made me feel like, okay, yes, I am accomplishing something. I'm not just a hamster on the wheel, just turning and not going anywhere. Now, the second thing I did was recognize that I needed to have change agility with my plan. So I had structured a plan in my bullet journal, but I had to know that that plan was not set in stone. I had to allow myself the flexibility to make changes to that plan whenever I needed to make those changes. And so you guys remember last week when I was like, oh, I'm gonna take off on Monday. I'm gonna knock out all the audio review on Monday when I'm off from my day job, and I'm just gonna get her done, right? Yeah. So what I found is that when you're listening to audiobooks for entertainment, you can listen for hours and hours and hours because you're discovering a new story. When you're listening to audio files for editing purposes, and it's the story that you've written, and you've kind of reread this story over and over and over again over the past 2 or 3 weeks, just getting it ready for the audio file, yeah, it's pretty exhausting. It is very exhausting. And so that whole plan of knocking it all out in one day, it wasn't happening. And so I did knock it out in one day, but I told myself it's okay. I need to have flexibility. I went back to my plan and said, okay, what are the other days? What's my ultimate deadline? What are other days that I can squeeze in listening to X number of files so that I still meet the deadline of getting comments back to the narrator within the 10-day time period? And so it actually took me 5 days of listening to actually get through the whole thing, because it's 10 hours and 25 minutes. Yes, somebody tell this girl to write shorter books. Okay, so, so once I recognized that, okay, the one day isn't gonna happen, is scrap that plan, iterate, and come up with a new plan, and the new plan worked out extremely well for me. The third thing was I had to make sure that I understood what I was listening for. What am I editing for? What am I really listening for as I review these audio files? Now, the good thing about working with the narrator that I chose through Find a Way Voices is that he took everything through an extensive proofing and editing process before the files were even uploaded for me to listen to. So when I tell you that these files were like supremely clean, they were supremely clean. So I didn't. So even though I printed out a copy of my book and I listened and I read word for word as he was saying the audiobook, like I was finding very, very, very few errors in missing words or added words or things like that. And so I really could hone in and focus on, okay, well, how is he delivering this scene? Are his character, the character accents and things that he uses, do they stay consistent throughout the book? I'm also listening for, is the emotion that he is conveying as he's narrating that chapter, does it match what I think the emotion of the scene is? And is the pacing right? So when I have a scene where there's more action, does the pacing sound like it quickens? And when I have one that's more of a romance, intimate, kind of slowed down love scene, does it seem slower? And so that's what I was able to focus on as I was reviewing the audio files. So on to the fourth and final thing that I focused on as I was reviewing the audio files, and that is finding ways to stay focused. So like I told you, the process ended up being pretty exhausting. And so the things that I did two main things to make sure that I could stay focused. The first thing that truly helped, like I just can't imagine, like I'm so shocked at how much this helped, was I moved. And so I walked as I listened. And so I walked this path downstairs in my house from the kitchen to the living room, down the hallway to the home office, through the dining room, back through the kitchen. And I just made this kind of circle loop where I could still hear the audio file, but it kept me moving. And when I tell you that this girl was moving, on the 3 out of the 5 days that I listened to this audio file, I logged my 10,000 steps just walking within my house. So that was amazing, and it really helped me to keep focus on what I was listening to because my body was moving and doing something else. And then the other thing that I did was I popped B12. So if I found that I was dragging, I was sleepy, I was like, oh gosh, I really don't feel like listening to this audio file right now, but I knew I had to go ahead and listen to it. Then I said, okay, I got 1,000 milligrams of B12. It's a vitamin. I didn't OD on the vitamin, but I took 1,000 milligrams of B12 gummy vitamins, and literally within like 5 or 10 minutes, I was back and ready, alert, and able to listen to the audio files. So those are the 4 things that I did as I was reviewing the audio files for The Accidental Hero. And I posted about, I'm gonna say two or three comments, only 2 or 3 things that my narrator, Jack Callahan, needed to adjust for, which he did so quickly. And I pressed the button, y'all. The audio files are locked. And I paid for it. And it's ready. It's going to be ready really, really soon to be published through Find a Way Voices. And I'm just super excited about you guys getting the chance to hear the amazing audiobook that Jack Callahan has narrated for The Accidental Hero. I loved it, and I know you guys are going to love it. So I'll keep you posted on when the actual publication date will be. And so now, if you want to continue to keep up with me and all the ups and downs that I go through as I try to write and publish new books, click the subscribe button. Then don't forget to click that little silver bell so you won't miss when I do a video. And I will see you next time.